Hi everyone, myself Pratik. Today welcome you all for my YouTube channel. So today in this video, I would like to start with Kubernetes creation with Terraform. Actually, we are creating a Kubernetes cluster in Google Cloud actually. So in the previous video, we just completed with the installation of Google Cloud SDK in our Ansible and Ubuntu server. Here we have installed our installed our Google SDK actually. So I'm using this Ubuntu server as the configuration to communicate with the Google Cloud actually. So in the last video, as we installed a Google SDK and also we have installed a command line utility called kubectl for to communicate with the Kubernetes cluster. So next we have to create a GKE cluster in Google Cloud. So there are two ways you can able to create actually. So this is the way, this is the first way where you can able to create with the Terraform actually. So I have a Git repository. So this is my Git repository. In the Git repository, I have mentioned all the required files to create one of the very good Kubernetes cluster actually, and I have mentioned the steps to follow it also. Next thing, next second method you can able to do is that this is a simple method. So where you can take this command, so where you have to replace only with this project ID, you can go to your console. You can directly execute that command. In this console, you can directly execute that command. So by this you can able to create a container actually. Since we have created a established a Google SDK here, so that it will be direct communication with the Google Cloud and our Ubuntu Ansible server actually. So next thing is that first thing, let's go with the Terraform installation actually. So we are starting with this method of installation of Terraform. So Terraform we have to install it. That is the second step which we are going to do. So in the first step, we have to clone this repository. So use this command. So to clone this repository, you can directly go to your Ubuntu server, the Ansible server which you set up. You can directly paste the command. So since I already has the repository, we don't require it. So that's the reason I'm canceling. So once after you clone out that repository, you will going to get this directory. You can go inside that directory and Terraform. So you can type ls. So these are the files which is present, so that you can use for your Terraform actually. So you have to go to this directory. So after that you can able to see those directory over there. These are the files which is there actually. Next thing which you want to do is that you need a service account. So why we need a service account is that, so if you want to create any resources, if you want to do any kind of an resource configuration, whatever you want to do with the Terraform, right? When you are doing it outside of the Google Cloud environment other than Cloud Shell, you need a service account to communicate with that. So for that service account, you need these three privileges: Kubernetes admin role, compute admin role, and service account privilege role actually. So these are the three roles which is required for that service account to perform this Terraform script action. So now let us go for creating a service account. So this is the Google Cloud environment. So in the Google Cloud environment, you can, in the ampersand menu, you click on IAM and admin. So you're going to be popped up with this default uh, admin page. So after that you go for service account. So once after you go for service account, you click on create service account and service account name. So just name it as GKE. So GKE Terraform. So next, click create and continue. So in the role, the first role which you want to give is that Kubernetes engine admin role. This is going to give you a full management of Kubernetes cluster and their Kubernetes API object. So the next role which you want to give is that compute admin role. So this role is required for to create a node actually, node inside the Kubernetes cluster. So this is the compute admin role. The next role which you want to give is that service account user role. That is the role which is required for to use the service account. Scroll down, you will going to get service account user. This is the service account user which you want to use. So once after that, you click on continue. So, and there is also an optional feature to give for the particular users actually. If anybody is using in your organization who is having admin privileges which they want to use the Kubernetes environment, you can specify their email IDs and they can able to use this. Once after that, you can able to click on done. So after that, when you scroll down, you're going to get this is the service account which we created, GKE Terraform at new Ansible. So this is the service account. Once you go inside that, you can verify the permissions which you given actually. The interested point is that the keys. So we have to generate a key actually. So click on add key, create a new key. So in that select JSON and create. So once you click on create, there is a file downloaded, the JSON file. So this file you have to use it for to get authorization with Google Cloud. With this service account, you will going to create the Kubernetes environment resources actually. So click on cancel. I have already downloaded actually. Uh, once after you download that JSON key actually, let's go to the next step. So the next step is installing Terraform. So we have downloaded that JSON file. So next you have to take that JSON file into this Ubuntu server. So here there is a service account.json. You rename that file with this name service account.json. So this is the JSON file of service account which you can able to use it for our Terraform script to get authenticate with the Google Cloud environment. Once after this, the next step is to install Terraform. So I've already installed Terraform. So what you can able to do is that you can install Terraform with the uh, command. So you can take this command if you are using Ubuntu. You can take this command. So and paste that command inside here. Since I've already installed Terraform, so it's telling that Terraform is already installed. So the next step which you want to go is that, so you have to go for the Terraform script execution. So Terraform init. So we're going to initialize it. So next Terraform plan, we're going to check the plan actually means the configuration which we done, right, whether it's working properly or not. So you can use this actually to check actually. Next we will going to create that create that GKE cluster with the Terraform script with this command actually. So here you have to specify your project ID actually. So instead of your project ID, you have to specify your Google Cloud project ID to create the GKE cluster in your environment. So let me go to the Ubuntu server. So now it's the practical time. Uh, I'll clear the screen. Terraform init. So you have to perform this action inside the directory only. So this is the, once you cloned this repository, so go to this exact directory terraform-gke. So you're going to see all the Terraform files actually. Inside the perform this, you have to perform this Terraform commands actually. Terraform init. Once after that, Terraform plan. Next, you want to specify the variable. The variable is project ID. Project project ID is equal to, so this is my project ID. Let me grab my project ID actually. So this is my project ID. Once you executed this command, so you're going to see the Terraform script started executing. So see here. So in this, there is a plan to add 4 resources into this GKE cluster. So what are all the things which will be added is that, so let me go one by one. So the first thing is that you're going to create, it is going to create an VPC actually to deploy your GKE cluster. So once after that, it's going to create a subnetwork. So inside the VPC, it is going to create a subnetwork with the CIDR range of 10.0.10.0.0. So in this space, it's going to create the subnetwork actually. In this subnetwork, you're going to be having a GKE cluster. Whenever you executed this script, the GKE cluster will use this CIDR range to get an IP address for that cluster actually. So I'm going to show you once after it is been created. So many of the things which will be known after applied means the default values which is required for to create the GKE cluster, right? That is going to be taken. Otherwise, it will be known after apply only. So this is going to create a GKE cluster. This third resource. So this is the primary nodes. Means after creating a GKE cluster, the nodes has to be created. That is the fourth resource actually. So these are the 4 resources which will be get created. So to apply this command, let me clear the screen. So here instead of plan, you can replace with plan with apply. After in the end, give auto approve means you are it's going to notify you to again specify whether you want to create or not. So to avoid that means you have to provide yes or no. To avoid that, I'm giving auto approve. Once after you enter this command, it's going to start creating VPC first, next subnetwork, next GKE cluster and the nodes. So now it is started with creating VPC actually. So this is going to take almost 5 to 10 minutes. Once after this created, I'll going to resume the video and show you what are all the resources which is created and where my GKE cluster is created. GKE cluster will be created in US Central 1 and almost 6 nodes will be created actually. So we don't require 6 nodes to demonstrate guys, but so I'm creating that much of resource since I already have the Terraform script. So I'm executing this script itself. See now the GKE Terraform script is executed and it is created 4 resources and 0 as changed and 0 as destroyed. So now we have to check and validate our GKE cluster is created or not. So this is about service account. So this is the GKE cluster. So we have to refresh it. So last refresh was done 28 minutes ago. So now I am again refreshing, so you should be able to see. So your project id -gke, this is the cluster actually which is created in this name actually. So after that you can go inside and you can able to check the nodes actually. So there are no VMs which is available actually. So we can refresh this and we could able to see there are many nodes which will be created. Almost 6 nodes will be there. So it is belonging to this GKE cluster actually. So this is GKE cluster. All of the nodes which is belonging to this GKE cluster actually. So now the GKE cluster is created. So now we have to connect to this GKE cluster. How to connect to this GKE cluster? So click on this three dots and click on connect. So copy this. So once you copy this, click on OK. So go to your Ansible server. So this is your Ansible server, right? So this is the public IP of that cluster actually. So where you can access the website actually. So when you enter that command, so let me clear the screen. So this is the command, so which you copied from the GKE cluster to connect. Once you enter this, this is going to create a kubeconfig entry file. In the kubeconfig file, it's going to be created one kubeconfig entry to communicate with this cluster actually. So now you can execute kubectl command, kubectl get pods. So let's check how many pods are there. There will be no pods actually, since we have not deployed any kind of an application actually. So in the default namespaces there is no pod which is running currently. So now let us check and kubectl get nodes. So there will be 6 nodes which will be listed. So these are the 6 nodes. So we can try and compare this name with the actual compute VM which is created in the GCP. These are the GCP VMs which is created, right? You can directly compare this VM nodes with that the resource which you get in the Ubuntu Ansible server. So that is the same name actually. So the current version which is used is 1.257. So now we have created a Kubernetes GKE cluster in Google Cloud. So this is the end of this video. In the next video, I shall start with an installation of the pods actually. I will create some pods with some deployment. I will expose with some service and we shall verify that. So once after we verify that, so the next thing which you want to do is that you can go and execute a Terraform script with the Ansible, so that it will be Terraform script in the Ansible server. So this is the Ansible server where we have installed Google SDK. We established communication between the Google Cloud and the Google SDK which we created. So now we are communicating with the Google Cloud. So what are the resources which is available? Every resource which you can handle from the Google SDK itself. In the next video, so I'm going to show you how to deploy our application in GKE. Thank you all. Bye.